Exactly, and you can kind of see a few of the striations in the storm, and again, you can see those what we call scud clouds being sucked into the storm as well. Again, so that what I'm assuming what you're seeing is probably past China Spring at this point, possibly more towards I-35, towards El Mott, because it looks like on our radar is not giving us the cleanest velocity image this morning, but it looks like that rotation would probably be past China Springs towards El Mott. Would you concur from what you're seeing out in the field?
I would agree with that. It's obviously moved past China Spring a little, and it appears to be heading towards the northeast. Okay. I guess I'd put it towards El Mott and I-35.
Okay.
So, and I can confirm that, Matt. My daughter lives in West, and she and her family right now is currently in their pantry, and she said it's rocking and rolling up there right now.
All right, so
that storm is just reaching the big circle you've got right now. On the northeast side of that is just bearing down on that I-35 corridor right now, on the north side of McLennan County.
So yeah, so if you're in West right now, probably getting a lot of that rain that's associated with the storm. It looks like, let me move this box just a little bit that direction. Okay, you can see very strong, that may not be the center of rotation, but very strong winds near West. Again, you see these lighter colors. Those are very strong straight line winds. We're seeing heavy rain in that area. And again, the area of rotation moving now potentially towards I-35. Let's go ahead and take Rocky's image full screen if we can behind me. All right, so again, let me step over to this side real quick. Again, over to this side, again, that's where we were seeing potentially that wall cloud. Again, you can see some striations in the cloud. If this storm had a hail core, it would typically be on the north side of where that rotation would be. And you can kind of see the coloration of the sky. That's where we would expect a hail core. That's where we would have the kind of the deepest updraft. But again, the rotation going to be just a little bit offset to the south. And it's just off screen for Rocky right now, but again, the road taking him just a little bit the wrong direction to get an idea, and the tree is getting in the way a little bit. So, yeah, let's go back to the radar until he's able to make a turn on the road to get a little bit better image there. Again, still watching it as it moves towards El Mott. El Mott would be my area of concern right now. And again, I don't have the cleanest image. I wish I had a cleaner image to give you, but El Mott, 1241, Lakeview Academy, 1241, Axtell by 1254. So that's the current timing on this storm. And so we look for these shapes, again, kind of a pendant shape. That's where we look for when we start talking about rotation. So as we kind of have this sort of draped off to the south, again, that's where we would expect to see if we had any rotation, would be in that area, kind of between China Spring and El Mott, moving towards El Mott, maybe just to the north of El Mott, maybe between West and El Mott. But if you're in West, if you're in El Mott, either way, you should be in your safe space. Because again, these storms can, at times, change direction on us. So we want to make sure that we are staying safe. And this is going to be I-35 at Crest in Lacey Lakeview. You can see the rain coming down very hard. Likely strong straight line winds. I don't see any indications of those straight line winds. I don't see signs moving trees or anything else. But we know this storm has a history of 60+ mile/per-hour winds, very strong rains as well. So,
Matt?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm on the National Weather Service's page, and right now reports that near China Spring we have a visual of a funnel cloud.
Okay, can we take Rocky's image again?
That could, China Spring's big geographically. Yeah. You could be closer down by the airport, or you could be on the backside of China Spring.
Right.
But so we don't know exactly where we're looking, but Rocky looks like he's looking into the worst of it right there.
Can we take him full screen? Real quick. Again, so this is...
Yeah, I just passed China Spring High School.
Okay. Actually, can we...
And I don't see a funnel yet.
Can we take it full screen?
I'm trying to get up here a little further
on the wall so I can be in front of it. I just want to point out a couple of things. Okay. Ooh, appear like magic.
That was good.
Okay. Yeah. So this, again, is the area, and again, the National Weather Service says they have some spotters who say they have seen a funnel in this area, and again, wall cloud lowering from the storm, and Rocky's starting, so I have to go over here. But again, so that is the area that we'd be looking at. And Rocky, what road did you just turn onto?
This is the road out of China Spring going east towards Waco. I can't remember the FM number. It turns into 19th Street when you get to Waco, though.
Okay. But yeah, east out of China Spring. So you are basically just almost due southwest of that area that we've been looking at. So so we know now. We know it's between China Spring. We know it between China Spring and I-35. And so as Rocky comes around this corner, we'll get a better image of it, I think. So we're going to hold on to this image for just a second longer before we go back to the radar.
Okay, I've got an update for you from the National Weather Service. We've now got a tornado warning.
I'm going to turn here.
For southern Hill County.
Okay, so we're
as this storm moves north, and then they're watching again in Coryell County as stuff's redeveloping out there, Matt.
All right, so yeah, a very, very active morning. So I'm just going to take a radar scan of the whole area.
Yep.
And again, I can see potentially what they're looking at. You can see north. Oh, so let's go back to the radar real quick. You can see north of Gatesville, kind of between Gatesville and Crawford, maybe some areas of some strong winds, maybe some rotation developing there. But again, the area that we've been watching all morning now potentially moving across I-35 at this hour. And let me go ahead and...
That's a good shot. They talked about Bosque County. Looks like Meridian's going to dodge this. So that's going to be, of course, southeast Bosque County, right over there to Clifton, and maybe just down to Valley Mills getting the brunt of it as well, which is right on the border of McLennan County, Bosque County.
Okay. Okay. Again, very heavy rainfall. So this is Tokyo Road. So this is just, so Tokyo Road, if I'm remembering correctly, is just north of Waco.
It's the first exit for west. So it's on the south side of west.
Okay.
About 9 miles north of Waco.
Yeah, and so we're seeing heavy rainfall right now. We're seeing a lot of traffic, which is not ideal. And again, this is where kind of we're expecting that rotation kind of moving over I-35 right now. So yeah, if you can avoid I-35, please do avoid that if you can.
Extending the tornado warning for both McLennan and Hill County now, National Weather Service.
Okay. So let's go back to this. All right. So again, areas that we've been watching all morning long is that area of rotation. You can see it on our reflectivity scan now, and you can see, like Chris said, that tornado warning has been extended through McLennan County into Hill County and even northeast of there. So again, this area right here, again, kind of between Elmont and West, that's where we're looking right now is the I-35 corridor between West and Elmont. That is where that area of rotation. Okay, let's take Rocky's camera again. I want to show it. All right, so yeah, so again, you can see a lot going on here. So with this storm, we're seeing, again, the striations in the storm, that indicates rotation. We're seeing a lowering, that's that wall cloud. Potentially, again, the National Weather Service said there might have been a funnel cloud. I'm seeing what I would say is what we call scud clouds, which is not a tornado. It's just basically moisture being sucked into the storm. But if we are seeing a funnel cloud, it's going to be in this area right here. And Rocky, can you tell me where you're looking?
Yeah, I'm looking east. I just turned off the road, but I'm here in far east China Spring, and there was a gentleman out here following. He said it came over his head and kind of scared him a little bit, but no lowering. There's no damage around where I'm at.
Okay.
I'm fixing to get back on the road and try to chase a little further east. So.
Okay, perfect. So Rocky is kind of east of China Spring, looking east again towards I-35. So we know this kind of passed over China Spring. Rocky said he and another gentleman have not seen signs of of damage at this point. But again, we do have that lowering, that wall cloud. So again, still dealing with what could potentially be a dangerous situation as this storm continues to progress now again towards I-35. Let's take our radar image one more time. You can see exactly where he's looking at as we look right here, just to the north of Elmont, just to the east, to the west of I-35, going to cross I-35 here in just the next couple of minutes. So if there is a tornado in the system, which we haven't seen we have seen, according to the National Weather Service, a funnel cloud. We have seen on Rocky's image a definite wall cloud. We definitely have a lowering, at least. We don't necessarily have a funnel cloud that we could see, but we have reports from the National Weather Service that a funnel cloud has been spotted in this storm about to move across I-35.
That's correct, and they're saying it's that area is right in the Ross area. So again,
okay.
you're talking between west. Well, actually, Ross is going to be between Elmont and west. So you're right. You're north of Waco, but you're right in that line of those boxes that you've got highlighted right there, Matt.
Right. So yeah, let's take a look. So Ross, Wiggins, Rogers, well, Wiggins and Rogers Hill would be a little bit past you. I think Wiggins is a little too far north, but yeah, Ross heading towards I-35. And
again, the danger with this is out in front of the storm, right? By the time you're at Wiggins and Rogers
Yep.
Hill, you're just getting a lot of rain and you're in the clear. Okay.
Right now, our concern is going to be right along I-35.
Yeah.
Basically, just to the west of I-35. Where you're seeing, so again, our velocity scans are not giving us the cleanest image, but what they are showing us is where the strongest winds are. So this is where we'd expect that rotation to be. So again, crossing I-35, basically as we speak here over the next couple of minutes. In fact, if we can take that TxDOT camera one more time, the one up at near Tokyo Road.
I do want to invite people to send us videos of where they're at.
Oh, okay.
As long as you're in a safe location,
Yeah.
please send us pictures and videos of what you're seeing from this area along I-35.
Yeah, I know we have lots of spotters who are probably out on this right now. Hopefully, we're all staying safe. All right, so is this looking south along I-35? My assumption is that it is. So again, this is Tokyo Road. So this is just south of west. If we're looking south, which again, I think we are, I'm afraid maybe the TxDOT logo is in the way of letting us know which way we're looking. But again, looking south, this is where we'd expect that system, that rotation to be crossing the highway. That would be the area of concern. So let's go back to radar again. You can see again, just to the north of Ross. That's where we're seeing maybe some of that rotation. And again, it's going to cross I-35 momentarily. So where would it be? It would be kind of on the leading edge as we look at our reflectivity scans, right on the leading edge of where you see these rain returns. So again, sort of basically just to the west of I-35, right along Four Corners Road there as it meets I-35, just north of Ross. That's the area of concern right now. So like I said, earlier when we were talking about west versus Elmont, it looks like it's going to split them a little bit. Might catch the southern half of west, but it looks like, again, that area of rotation is going to cross I-35 between those two towns, but that does not mean you should be out of your safe space. You should still be in your safe space until this storm is well past, of course.
And Matt, you're kind of dealing with two storms here, right? Because as you pulled up your bigger radar, they were breaking off. So you're really, yeah, you could see here that, again, what you're seeing to the southwest, is this mostly rain that we're concerned about? I know the National Weather Service still is watching the tornado activity for Coryell County.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of rain. It looks like maybe there's a little bit of rotation there near Crawford.
Okay.
But again, it might just be straight line, very strong winds. But again, an area to definitely keep an eye on there. The good news about that storm is this, is if it continues to track behind the original storm, it's not going to have nearly as much energy to work with.
Great.
So we might still get a tornado warning, we might still get a severe thunderstorm warning or something of that effect out of that. But as long as it kind of follows in the wake of this storm, this will definitely turn the atmosphere over, for sure.
So it's out in front of this storm we're most concerned. Hubbard, it's going to head to Mount Calm.
Right.
And then it goes up to Frost and on its way to Corsicana, or may even turn further north and head to the Metroplex.
In fact, let's go ahead and put a track on it real quick.
National Weather Service is very active with everything happening in Fort Worth and Dallas right now. They are getting all kinds of reports. A lot of hail, a lot of funnel cloud activity. And so we're hoping this loses its energy and runs out on us. But it just seems so many people living north of us in that area of the country.
Right.
And it is very active. They tend to get much colder in the winter, and these spring storms really tend to bear down on Dallas.
Absolutely, yeah. I can definitely confirm. Mount Calm, 108. Hubbard, 118. Dawson, 127. El Dorado Center, 134. Purdon, 139. Wortham, 150. So you can see by about the 2 o'clock hour, we're going to start getting this over towards the Highway 14 corridor if it holds together, which again, it has held together all morning, so there is no indication that it wouldn't continue to hold together as it crosses over I-35, which it is in the process of doing right now, headed towards Mount Calm, Hubbard, and then it will start moving into the Highway 14 corridor, moving through Limestone County up into potentially Navarro County as well. And then it'll continue tracking towards 14 and then 45 after that. You can see Angus and Mildred, 159, 205, Wortham, 150. That is that Highway 14 corridor. So if you are watching us also from the eastern half of the area, we've been talking about mainly the western half of the area. But again, this storm is holding together. And it is not really showing any signs of deterioration at this point. So again, something definitely to keep an eye on.
These are all small school districts,
Right.
Matt. They're all very rural. I know a lot of people who live in Mount Calm. They send their kids to Hubbard, the Hubbard Jaggers there, and then Dawson. These are all small schools that are right in the line of this. It's a Friday afternoon. I would imagine a lot of them are going to shelter in place. Are you advising that?
Absolutely. Okay, so let's go ahead and show where I-35 splits near Hillsborough. And again, looking what I have to assume is south. Yep, okay. So again, this is where 35 E and W come together just to the north of Hillsborough. You can see very dark, lots of rain. So again, as Chris said, and as we showed you on radar, yes, we have the area of rotation near west, but this storm continues all the way up in DFW. A lot of rain, a lot of wind outside of the area of rotation that we've been focusing on all morning long. So let's reset and recap real quick. Go back to our entire view of the area. All right, so there's our tornado warning. Again, moving through the northern parts of McLennan County, right across I-35 near west, near Elmont. And as we look back towards Gatesville, yeah, a lot of rain, a lot of wind there as well. What I'm not seeing, and we haven't had any reports of in quite some time, are any hail reports. Which I get that is if we're going to find good news in this situation, that is the good news. Still expect the strong straight line winds, however, and we still have that area of rotation that we've been watching. So let's continue to keep an eye on that. That obviously is the area of utmost concern right now.
Originally, the National Weather Service was going to let that McLennan County tornado warning expire at 12:45. Baylor University's asking out of Fort Worth, the National Weather Service right now, if they're going to let it expire. It sounds like all that action is behind Baylor now. Baylor should be in the clear, right, Matt?
Yeah, and it looks like it kind of stayed relatively north of Waco, which
kind of went around, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I don't know the words to say because I don't want the people in Elmont and West to feel excluded. But obviously, if it had gone through the heart of Waco, that is one of the more populated areas in the viewing area. So the fact that it did say just to the north, again, it's not good. But if you're in Elmont or West, obviously you definitely have stakes in this storm. So definitely keep an eye on that.
National Weather Service has answered Baylor's question and says no. All concerns are now north of you, Baylor.
Right.
So yep.
Right along I-35. So I'm going to step off the screen real quick because I can hear my microphone going in and out. I need to grab a new microphone. So let me do that real quick. And then, Chris, if you just want to read some of the National Weather Service chatter or something. But I definitely need a new microphone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm asking any of our viewers out there, we want to use this in our 5 and 6 o'clock newscast, if you can send us pictures or video safely of anything you might have captured, and then so there's no rush on this. Once you've got it and you can send it in safely, please text it to us to 254-777-6000. So again, that's a very easy phone number to use. 254-777-6000. You could go to our app, the 6 News app, and then send us through the Near Me and explain where you are as well. We've tried to make that as convenient as possible. I am being told when Matt comes back and he gets re-mic'd up, he's going to take a second look at Gatesville, because that Coryell County storm that started in Coppers Cove and then moved to the northeast, it's like it's got its own bottle of kerosene and it just keeps pouring it on itself, because once again, we're getting reports of some hook activity down there, and some viewers that I know are actually sending me private messages saying it's really looking really bad down there. So let's bring Rocky Bridges back up on camera and find out Well, where in the world is Rocky Bridges, who started off at the TV station in Temple, made his way up 317, and then across Highway 6, and then up into China Spring, and started making his way back to Waco. Rocky, where are you now?
Well, I'm on Steinbeck Bend Road. Oh no, I just turned on to Lakeshore, and I'm coming around into towards Elmont. I've had to go east, southeast for a long ways. You know, there's no way to go north from China Spring between here and I-35.
That's right.
I'm getting ready to. Yeah, I'm getting ready to come up to 933, and I'll head north again.
Okay,
and that
great.
should take me. I'm just chasing this. This thing is
Rocky's
fast.
going to dump on everybody. If you're not familiar with the area, if you
Legally.
live down in Bell County or even maybe Salado, he's going the north way. When you get on I-35, and you can exit it north up there at Shore Boulevard, and Rocky's going to dump way on the north side of Waco, and then he'll just keep chasing this activity to the north. But our big concern, of course, is that it's going to refire up down in Gatesville and Coryell County and just continue this pattern. And when he turns south and starts making his way back towards the Waco suburb he lives in, he may be driving into it again at 3 or 4 o'clock today.
Yeah, that's true. I just heard you guys mention that, and I may, if it's tracking the same basic way, I'll probably be in a good place to get some good shots, or I may have to run.
You're very close to I-35 right now,
yeah,
Rocky.
I'm
I
getting
know
ready
right
right
where you
now.
are there. You're going to be on the north side of Cracker Barrel
Yeah.
for anybody who lives there, or the steakhouse. There's a Home Depot and the Sam's Club out there. And so you're going to be about 10, 11 miles south of west, huh?
Right. I'm going to go ahead and turn north, though, on Golson Road, which is 933.
Okay.
And that'll take me up towards Aquila and in that area. And if I have to, I can track back over to I-35. But eventually, this is going to move out of our area pretty quickly. And
All right, Matt's going to step back on camera. He may have a question or two for you.
But
Go
it's
ahead.
been fun to watch.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
so,
sure.
Yeah, so you, just to recap, sorry.
Okay, I got to break in. I got to break in right now. McLennan County Sheriff reporting that there is a tornado on the ground right now at Tours. Tours is just south of west.
Okay.
That's right close to where Rocky's going, maybe 4 or 5 miles to the northeast of where Rocky's at right now.
All right, so yeah, so
Yeah.
the tornado on the ground in Tours, so right there, right around Burger and Crab, Rice Creek Road, looks like that would be the area of concern there. So past I-35 now, making its way through eastern McLennan County. Again, the McLennan County Sheriff's Office is kind of reporting a tornado on the ground in that area, and that's exactly where we would expect it. You see just at the base of that pendant in this storm. Let me take this off so you can see what I'm talking about and stop the motion here. So again, right there, as we reach the end of our, okay, so let's take a look here. I'm looking, perfect. So it sounds like our producer's telling us that some of you are sending us some stuff that's good. So take a look, since our velocity scans aren't doing us a whole lot of good right now, take a look at what we're seeing here with some of these winds. You can kind of see that swirling pattern, so maybe indicating that that would be the area that we'd be looking at. It's maybe a little bit north of Tours, maybe between Tours and Cottonwood. Again, I'm looking kind of at Trilica Road, towards Four Brothers Road, maybe Crab Road, towards Check Hall. So again, that's the area that we're kind of looking west or east of west, maybe just a little bit southeast of west. That's the area right now where the McLennan County Sheriff's Department is telling us that there is potentially a tornado on the ground.
Not potential. We got eyes on it, Matt. I hate to say this. We got a large bowl funnel cloud right now near west on the Tours side.
Near west on the Tours side.
That is from the National Weather Service with people in the field who are spotting it.
Okay, and again, so that's what we're looking at. Tornado touchdown in Waco. Again, this was probably a little bit to the east of Waco, maybe northeast of Waco, because again, when it went through I-35, it was between Elmont and West. Now it's on the east side of West, and again, the National Weather Service and the McLennan County Sheriff's Department telling us that they were seeing a tornado on the ground.
They are seeing it on the ground. They are seeing debris. Is the next report coming?
Debris.
In.
So obviously damage with this storm. So again, if you are in Tours, if you are in Cottonwood, if you are in West at this point still, again, we've been saying to be in your shelter this entire time. You definitely need to stay there for now. All right, so, okay, so.
Yeah, Tours, I've been to homes out there. I remember watching the All-Star game at the home of Scott Pasednik. His grandmother hosted a party. He went to West High, ended up playing many years for the Chicago White Sox. And look at that. You get there,
Yep.
there's your picture. So this is a very dangerous area that's very rural.
Yep.
And a very good news is very sparsely populated, but there are strings of rows of homes on those streets, Matt.
Exactly. So again, let's take a look at the radar again. So again, we are seeing that area of, again, we're waiting till we get our own eyes on the storm. I know Rocky's heading that direction, but again, as we're looking at our velocity scans, probably in this general region here, like Chris said, on the Tours side of West, between Cottonwood, between Tours, moving through that area, Crab Road, Check Hall Road, County Line Road, that's the area that we're watching right now, where we have reports of a tornado on the ground. Again, not just a warning anymore at this point, tornado on the ground, according to multiple agencies. So let's take a look again, reflectivity. It shows you kind of exactly where it is on the base of that pendant. Again, east of West, Cottonwood, Tours, that area, about to cross into Hill County.
Yes, and National Weather Service, Matt's very concerned about that. They're saying updating their tornado warning right now for all of Hill County. It's coming your way shortly.
Yeah, and I would say very shortly, because you can see it's right there where, you know, Hill County and McLennan County have sort of that L-shaped county line. That is exactly where it's headed, right towards that corner. So we're looking at areas like potentially Malone. The area of rotation should stay south of Abbott, but towards Malone, towards Highway 171 here over the next 20 minutes or so. You definitely need to be in shelter right now. So let's put a track on it. Let's put a track on that area that we have seen a tornado on the ground, because we want to know exactly where it's going and when it could potentially get there.
Okay, we've got a bunch of storm spotters out there with eyes on that tornado right now in Tours. Amateur radio operators are talking and confirming. So again, they're seeing it move, and hopefully it's moving away from populations, and hopefully we have a damage report very soon on what's happened there.
Right. But Penelope, Malone, Pelham, Dawson,
Yeah.
Navarro Mills, all those areas in the path of this storm definitely need to be in shelter. Lowest level of your house, interior room, away from windows. If you have a storm shelter, that is where you need to be, because these are the towns that this storm is bearing down on here over the next, let's say, hour or so, as this continues to move across parts of McLennan now, and then it'll move through Hill, and then it'll move into Navarro County. So that's the path right now. And as a matter of fact, you can see the National Weather Service, because we have a report of a tornado on the ground, has extended that tornado warning to 1:15 for Hill and McLennan County. So
Right.
primarily at this point, it's going to be for Hill County. It's moving out of McLennan County, but again, if you're in Tours, that tornado, it's bearing down on you. Let's go ahead and zoom back in on that area that we know we've seen a tornado on the ground.
Right, and hopefully the energy is weakening, and it's just about over as it moves to the east, and that's just cornfields and very rural out there to the east of Tours.
Exactly.
There's not much there.
Exactly, and again, we're looking kind of right in this general region between Hohen, Cottonwood, kind of right along County Line Road. So again, we know this is moving towards the county line. It's going to move into Hill County. Like Chris said, very rural in this part of Hill County, but there are still towns in the path of this storm. And you saw over the next hour or so, it is going to move towards Dawson eventually. It's going to move through Penelope over the next little while here. And again, this is where we're seeing our rotation scans keep changing on us. I wish they would stay consistent. But again, that's the area that we're looking at. This latest scan does show kind of that area of concern has moved across the McLennan County line into Hill County, and will continue to move across Hill County for the next probably about 20 minutes or so before moving into Navarro County. So again, Hubbard, Dawson, Navarro Mills, all areas that are in the path of this storm right now.
And as I look at the national weather map right now, Matt, we are the talk of the country right now. This is the activity. With our springs arriving earlier, here we are in late April. This is very seasonal for us, right? Some of the most deadly tornadoes that this part of the country has seen have occurred in late April and early May.
Correct. And so I do want to say, I almost don't want to take eyes off of this storm, but we're going to for just a second because I want to look at the area just south of Clifton, kind of between Crawford and Clifton, seeing what potentially could be a hail core developing behind this tornado-warned storm. So there's our velocity scan, which looks a lot cleaner the further back you go, but let's take a look at the hail potential. Again, it's staying very small. Not getting massive updrafts, we're just getting a lot of spin with these storms. About a little bit less than an inch there between Clifton and Crawford along Highway 6. Okay, so producer extraordinaire Samantha Cruz telling us we have some more viewer video. Again, you can kind of see that funnel cloud coming down out of the storm here potentially. That might be scud cloud, but it also might be the funnel cloud that we're dealing with as well. So this is a real situation. This is not a this is no longer just a radar indicated tornado warning. Pardon? Didn't quite catch that.
Yeah, say again, Samantha.
All right, so again, so we have the hail core back near Valley Mills, but again, we have our rotation center near Helican. Now that is definitely a funnel cloud there.
1 minute ago, Check Hall Road, a storm spotter had eyes on that funnel cloud moving across that location.
Yep. And if you remember, Check Hall Road is exactly what we were looking at a couple of minutes ago.
That's just what you were just talking about, Matt.
So Check Hall Road towards County Line Road.
Active as of 1 minute ago.
Yep. And my apologies, but Barome would be just to the south of this situation. And again, okay. So Samantha says we have video ready. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got coming in from our viewers. Again, this funnel cloud, you can obviously see it. It is not radar indicated. This is something that is occurring as we speak. Here, and then you can see it kind of snaking towards the ground there in that video as well. So that actually might have been Rocky's video. And then again, this funnel cloud, again, just to the north of Tours. Again, this is something that we are now seeing is on the ground. We've been seeing it's on the ground for the past, I want to say about 10 minutes or so. So again, this is an active situation. Now heading towards likely Penelope would be next on the list. So if you're in Penelope, if you're near Penelope, you need to be taking your shelter.
We can tell you one house was hit from McLennan County Sheriff Parnell McNamara, damage to a house on Wortham Bend Road and Pioneer Parkway.
Okay.
So that's going to be up a little to the further to the west there. Deputies were following it. It did touch down in a couple of places, then headed north to Hill County. So this is not the tornado that you were talking about just a second ago. So this is one that had activity over closer to China Spring. Not a lot of damage beyond that as it went out into the farm road.
Okay. Oh, Rocky's on tours. Oh, can we take
Got there
Rocky's
quick.
over?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Rocky was not far from the activity here.
So, Rocky, is your mic open?
Well, okay. Well, yes, I hope. I'm trying to obey the speed limits here. So, if you're watching at home, don't worry about me. I just know how to get around here pretty quick. And I'm on Tours Road, heading northeast right now. Don't see any damage in this area just yet.
Okay.
See substantial lowering up here to my, I don't know, about my 10 o'clock position.
Right, that kind of area right there. Yep.
I know it's not going to be easy to see on this this wide camera, but it looks pretty. It looks pretty gnarly up there.
Yeah.
National Weather Service now says we have another tornado headed to Penelope. It's on the ground now. If it remains on the ground over the next few minutes, it has broadened and is heading right towards Penelope.
Yep.
So it's just Rocky's just behind this thing chasing it.
Yep. So like we were talking about Penelope just a couple of minutes ago, and now we can definitely see it is heading right towards Penelope. So if you are in Penelope, again, we've already said it. We're going to say it again. If you're not already seeking shelter, you need to be there because this is a real situation. We have spotter confirmed
This
tornado.
is that same core I've been chasing all along.
I've got family that lives to the northeast side of West, and I'm going to try to get this in real quick. They've got a picture from their front porch looking out across their pasture of a tornado on the ground.
Okay.
So they can see that as well. So that, again, this is, if you're in downtown West, you're fine. The events move past you.
Yes.
So this is now the northeast and the east side out in that rural countryside.
Yeah,
up
near Penelope and Hill County is where we're moving to next. And you said they're northeast of where, Chris?
They are just northeast of west.
Of west, okay. So yeah, that's the area that we've been focusing on. So
Okay.
Yep, toward Penelope. That's the one that's headed that way. So you be careful, Rocky, because if something circles back on you or develops, you could be right in the middle of it.
unfortunately, and this is the problem we're going to run into
Absolutely.
with 3G networks, obviously, as the roads Rocky's traveling down get a little more rural, some of that feed might cut in and out on us. But again, obviously,
Yep.
we're gonna keep it there because we want to be able to see it. Let's go back to the radar real quick. I want to show everybody right now. Again, that area of rotation, those highest winds, again, our velocity scans are not necessarily clean this morning, but you can see, again, some of those highest winds, and that would be indicative of where that rotation would be, are moving into Penelope right now. So again, if you're in Penelope, you need to be in that shelter. So let's go ahead and take a look at the reflect image, because again, I think we're going to get a better idea. If we have something that's still on the ground, we did before, it would be in this region right here.
Are you pointing to the Hill and McLennan County line? Because that's what storm spotters are saying. They're seeing funnel clouds.
They're seeing it right now.
Hill County and McLennan County line, yes.
So yeah, so anywhere along this pendant shape,
Yep.
where it comes down. So yeah, here's the county line. And so that's the area that we're looking at. With any luck, this stays somewhat south of Penelope, kind of bypasses the town. But again, we've already seen it go through a couple of towns already, and obviously it could continue to do so here. Let's go ahead and put it back in motion. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, put it in motion so you can see what's going on. I do want to slow that down a little bit.
This seems like a pretty fast-moving storm, Matt.
Yeah, about 35. It was going 45 before. 35 is a little more common. When it was booking along at 45, that was a little quick. But yeah, no, any given spot on the map, the storm is going to be there for just a few minutes. But of course, we know that's all it takes.
Right.
Unfortunately. So again, it looks like that area of rotation just past the Hill-McLennan County line.
Okay, now we're going to go to FM 2114 and FM 309, where there is a tornado on the ground in Hill County. This is from the National Weather Service spotter.
Okay.
So that's FM 2114 and FM 309.
Okay, I found 309. So there's 309, 2114.
This is happening seconds ago. At 1:08 p.m., we're now at 1:08:30.
So I'm having trouble finding 2114, but I can tell you right now
Yeah.
that this is 309 right here. So literally just along the county line, that's where the storm spotter who is saying there's a tornado on the ground is stationed, I'm assuming. And again, probably looking back to the northeast just a little bit, because that's where we're seeing, again, this rotational activity.
So we are getting reports now of multiple, 5, 10 spots of funnel clouds that have touched down to the ground. So we're thankful this is very rural areas.
Yeah.
But this storm has really turned out to be active with a lot of energy.
It has. So likely what we're experiencing is probably that same area of rotation, just going down, coming back up, going down, coming back up, which they do tend to do. And you can see now the tornado warning has been extended. It now includes Navarro County.
Yep.
And this is in effect until 2 o'clock. Remember, we first went on air with this tornado warning about 10:30. So this is a very long-lived storm.
But no McLennan, you're done now. They've extended it for Hill and
Correct.
then into Navarro. So this is just flat out following the path of this storm.
Yep. So you can see the newest active tornado warning is going to go from that area of rotation we've been talking about, basically up through Navarro County. And it's basically, obviously in this area, our counties are situated slightly diagonally. So again, it is kind of moving basically perpendicular to Hill County. It's going to move into Navarro County right over the line. And it probably will be in Hill County for the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. If you're in Penelope, if you're in Malone, this is the time to be in your safe areas. I want to put a track on it for you. I want to double check. This is still moving along at 35, at about 30. So again, the storm moving down just a little bit. So we're going to do a track on it. We're going to take that area just to the west, or right along the town of Penelope here. We're going to drag it out and kind of figure out where this storm is heading and the time estimate we have for it to arrive. So again, over the next hour or so, Penelope 113. That's basically right now. We got 110 on the clock, but again,
Right.
it's going to move through Penelope here over the next couple of minutes. Malone, 121. Pelham, 132. Emmett, 136. Navarro Mills, 145. Dresden, 150. Blooming Grove at 153, and then it'll move through Barry by 2 o'clock. So again, what we're looking at is it'll basically be in Hill County for the next 20 minutes or so. So for the next 20 minutes or so, if you're in Penelope or Malone, those are the only 2 Hill County towns that are showing up here on our map, on our track. And we know, again, this kind of arm of Hill County is very, very rural, so that is good news. But again, if you're in Penelope or Malone, definitely need to be seeking shelter here and staying that way for about the next 20 minutes or so as this storm continues to move through. And you can kind of see this could be a hail core developing. It also could theoretically be any sort of damage associated with this tornado. Any sort of debris that we have could be showing up on our radar as well there with those larger returns. So again, a couple of things in play here. But again, this kind of south end of this pendant shape, that's the area that we're looking at as far as any rotation would be concerned. I do want to take a look here to the back because again, we continue to follow this tornado, and behind it, theoretically, what should be happening is we should be losing energy behind the storm. And you can see that storm that is now moving through McLennan County and Bosque County. It doesn't have the tornado warning on it. We don't suspect there's as much rotation with this storm. But again, you can see pockets of potentially pocket change-sized hail falling basically right now along the Bosque River between Bosque County and Hill County. That will go through Hillsborough, as it looks as that path will take it on. So again, hail potential for Hillsborough. Again, pocket change-sized hail, not the severe hail, but that is a real possibility here as we head through the next 30 minutes or so. But again, our area of concern that we've been wanting to stay focused on all morning long is this tornado warning, is this area of rotation that we've seen inside this particular thunderstorm, this supercell as it moves across the area. Again, notice it has that L shape to it. Again, it's not a textbook, what we would call supercell, but we are seeing what we call a pendant, and off that pendant, again, kind of that tail end rotation, again, as it moves through Penelope, probably through Penelope at this point, now on its way towards Malone, and then on its way towards Navarro Mills. So those areas are under the under our area of concern right now. And again, just it's a little bit messy on our velocity image. Let me change to the Fort Worth radar station, see if that cleans this up for us a little bit. And it does a little bit. Okay, so for the first time in a couple of hours, we have a pretty clean image of where that rotation will be. It's going to be right in this area where you see the reds and the greens come together. Still not an ideal picture on our velocity scan, but it gives us a much, much better idea than what we were getting off of our other radar site. So again, where you see the greens and the reds come together. All right, let's go ahead and let's do that. And that'll give us something a little bit different to talk about. So basically, what we've been talking about all morning is if you are in the path of this tornado, that you need to be taking shelter. So what are those tornado safety tips that we've been talking about? Well, as we all know, you definitely want to be in the... Oh, they're not animating. I'll just tell you, lowest room of your house, lowest floor of your house in an interior room, away from exterior walls. My advice is always this. It was explained to me once this way, and I explain this now to everybody. Put as many walls between you and the storm as you possibly can. So if your kitchen is, say, in the middle of your house, as some people's are, go to the pantry. An interior bathroom with a bathtub, that offers some protection. So, like I said, basement or smallest center room. Why did I ignore the basement? Because I know we're in Texas. Most of us don't have basements because of the shifting clay. But if you have a basement, obviously that's ideal. Storm shelter, same idea. But smallest center room, stay away from all windows, cover yourself. That is the part that I haven't mentioned. If you are going to an interior bathroom, if you're going to be in that bathtub, some people say a mattress. I will say pillows because they're easier to move. You want to cover yourself with something. All right, and then if you're at an office or a building or a school, lowest floor possible, interior stairwells. Why do we say that? Because stairwells are usually reinforced with concrete. Elevator shafts are too, but you definitely don't want to be in an elevator in a tornadic situation. But those stairwells, usually in an office building, are reinforced with concrete. So the lowest level of a stairway possible. And again, a lot of businesses, a lot of offices do have boiler rooms. So if you can go downstairs and be underground, that obviously is ideal. So there are your safety tips. Again, let's go back to where we're talking about right here. And again, it's going to be right here. Now moving past Penelope, now moving towards 171.
Let me give you an update as you swing out to the west. Right now, Matt, the cluster of storms in Bosque County is strengthening. The National Weather Service is watching that core very closely. East of Meridian, so you're right at that Clifton area, and then just west of Clifton, they may need to issue a severe warning shortly as well. They're watching very carefully.
Okay. So if they're considering a severe thunderstorm warning, probably not seeing the same rotation, but could be seeing those strong winds and any of these hail cores. So severe criteria is as follows: 58-mile-an-hour winds or higher, or 1-inch hail, or both. So those are your criteria for a severe thunderstorm. So if they're considering a severe thunderstorm warning, my guess is these hail cores are starting to intensify, and they suspect that over the next several minutes, these could grow to 1-inch hail. And then on that last scan, I do see them kind of dissipate a little bit. But as we've seen in the past, these storms, they can cycle up and they can cycle down. So let's take a look inside the storm here, see what's going on as the National Weather Service continues to consider a severe thunderstorm warning. So as far as the hail goes, you can see along 6, I believe that's Highway 6 that runs, no it's not.
It's going to run through Meridian, yeah, all the way up, that's Highway 6 right there.
So I'm looking right here from Meridian to Laguna Park.
Whatever, I see what you're saying. Yes,
yeah, whatever the highway is that runs from Meridian to Laguna Park, that's where we're seeing maybe some of the biggest hail, and that is where, again, the National Weather Service might be a little concerned that these could grow to 1 inch or greater. And again, all this is moving off to the northeast, so again, we're looking at Lake Whitney, we're looking at Whitney, we're looking at hail cores as well to the south of Laguna Park, but again, not seeing as large a hail. This is the largest hail we're seeing right here with that storm, and really across the entire area today. Again, even though we have this tornado-warned storm, the tornado has been the story on that storm. It has not been a hail situation for a couple of hours. A couple of hours ago, it definitely was. If you were with us at 10:30. Okay, so.
And I want to tell you, we'll see what Rocky has to say, but we're getting reports that a wall cloud is still evident in Penelope, but no tornadoes on the ground right now.
Yeah, we are seeing that lowering. We're not seeing a funnel cloud, but we are seeing a lowering that we look for with that wall cloud. So, again, still a storm that will not stop.
Oh, and it's rained. Look at all the water on the highway.
Yeah, so obviously heavy rain. Again, we discount some things, obviously, when we talk about the biggest threats, which, of course, in a tornadic situation, the tornado is the biggest threat. But yes, there is also heavy rain with these storms. Could see some minor street flooding, especially in those low-lying or urban areas. But again, just still watching kind of this lowering here. As Rocky gets closer and closer, we are seeing, it's still there. It doesn't look necessarily maybe as clean as it did before, but we are still seeing that lowering. So we're still dealing with that. And again, the National Weather Service chat saying that they are still seeing that wall cloud, that lowering. And again, so as we switch back to the radar image, potentially some hail developing within the storm as well. No, I'm not seeing hail on. So I wonder, and I mentioned this before.
That's good news, because that was right on target for frost. It looked like they were going to get hit here in the next 15 minutes or so.
It's also entirely possible that, but we're not seeing the tornado on the ground. You just saw the image from Rocky, but it could have been. Sometimes debris from a tornado can be confused by the radar as hail.